my gosh. There's construction stuff in the back.
Oh. No, we're not traveling in a trash truck.
No, it's my father's work vehicle. Oh, hi guys, it's Camille, and today we are not going to Disney. If you read the... If you can't tell, Mom's with me today.
Hello.
And if you can tell by her shirt and the fact that we're still driving...
Find my shirt.
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
We're headed to Universal because today is the first day of Universal's Mardi Gras celebration. So the Mardi Gras holiday, as far as I'm aware, I know it's a New Orleans-based holiday, and that's something that's traditionally celebrated down in that neck of the woods. But Universal has a whole month from February 1st to March 1st where they're celebrating Mardi Gras all day, every day. This includes a really, really fun parade, and they get to throw beads at you, and you get to catch them, and it's fun! They also have a few different food booths set up, serving up New Orleans-style dishes, and the Tribute Store is dedicated to Mardi Gras. So today we're gonna check out the parade. We're gonna try and catch some beads, aren't we, Ma?
We are, and we're gonna buy food and merch.
Yes, because Mom wants to find a Mardi Gras shirt because we do plan on coming back as a family, like with the rest of my siblings and my dad and my uncle, and we're gonna go down there. We're gonna have fun, and I don't plan on recording that, but I wanted to show you guys Mardi Gras. So we're headed down here today on the first day of Mardi Gras, and I'm admittedly nervous, mostly because it's a Saturday. I don't know how busy it's gonna be. I am hoping and praying it won't be too bad, but we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna see the Tribute Store, which Mom has never been inside the Tribute Store like ever. I missed out seeing the Christmas layover of the Tribute Store this past year, but I did get to see it for Halloween, and that was really cool. So I'm excited to see what they did for Mardi Gras this year. And then obviously the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the parade. Universal said that they have some new floats that are debuting this year, and I'm really excited. Some of these floats are huge and they're crazy looking, and it's a lot of fun. So we're headed to the park now, and we will see you guys when we get there.
See you then.
See ya. So we just pulled up after sitting at the same red light for like 5-6 minutes. Oh, this is gonna be very interesting. I can tell you that right now.
It's gonna be packed. Yippee.
Yippee. We're gonna have such a good time. It's gonna be so fun. We made it. It's a little people-y in Citywalk today, but we're not gonna be in Citywalk very long because we're headed straight to Studios as soon as we can get through everybody. Walking by the Universal Citywalk store, they have a whole window dedicated to Mardi Gras. Look at how fun that is. And look at the popcorn buckets. He's so cute. He's so adorable. We're making our way up to the park now, and look at the sign. Apparently it's the 30-year celebration of Mardi Gras. Who knew? We've made it into the park, and already just walking down the street of the park, they've got different performers out there. Still walkers, there's people in costumes. Oh, that's fun. It's a little hard to tell because there's a sea of people, but we shall we walk? Food is way down there.
Way down there?
Yeah, I told you where the Christmas tree was.
Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah, it's down there. So just up here is some of the food booths. Now, I'm going wherever I so choose. All right, just trying to get to an area. Okay, good, because this is a line for one of them. I just don't know which one. Well, that's why I gotta figure it out. Okay, so I think we're in the right line, but I believe it's for this booth, and they've got beignets and red beans and rice and king cake. The whole area, the whole square, I think has like 4 or 5 different booths. I'll flash on the screen which ones now. But the whole area is decorated, and it's really fun. Mom, we're in line to get the other food, but you got the beignets.
Yes, I did. They're tiny, tiny.
And they're warm, and they're coated in sugar.
They are with sugar.
I'm excited to try them.
I'm excited to get out of line.
We've never had beignets, have we?
We have never had them?
At least I've never had them.
I think we did.
When?
I don't know. One of the restaurants we've gone to. Here we are.
Here we are. So
Camille's gonna back down because she didn't eat today.
I did not. I only had breakfast
Show
this
it.
morning.
Show
So
the stick of potatoes.
So this is what's called a twisted tater, and this has Cajun seasoning and some kind of sauce. I'll flash the ingredients on screen. I already started eating it because I'm starving, and of course by now, because we've been running around in the wind and everything, it's cold, but
It's not really windy. It's just we stood in line for ever.
they're really good though.
Are they?
I'm almost tempted to like you would like a corn on the cob, you just go at it like this, but I want to share them with you, so I
Oh,
won't.
how kind of you.
It's really good though. Lots of good
It is
flavor.
cold.
It is cold, and I think it's because we were trying to find a place to sit. Just
Well,
trying everything.
the place is packed.
It's packed. And Mom
These
got
are
a
the beignets.
beignets. Look at them. They're little tiny
They're like
donuts.
bigger than a mouthful, so maybe 3 bites.
Maybe.
If you're being dainty about it. And then they give you like
They give you a baggie of them.
5.
5 of them?
There's 3 left, and there's this one, and I ate one while I was trying to find you.
Well, was it
Because
good?
I lost- It was good. They were warm, but once again, it's cold down here. Try.
Oh.
I now can watch you eat. What do you think? Now imagine it warm and soft.
Yeah, I imagine if you got them fresh, these are like heaven in a bag.
They're not bad.
No, they're actually pretty good.
I don't know that any of this is worth the line that we stood in.
No, I would come down here during the week when T-Pain
Yeah.
isn't performing, because I guess T-Pain is a pretty big thing there, and I wasn't aware until
I
today.
don't even know who he is, but yes, I guess so.
Neither did I until today, so before any of y'all come at me at the comments, I'm sorry, I'm not cultured.
What do you have, Camille?
This is the mac and cheese. It has pasta. It's a spicy mac and cheese, so it has pasta and peppers, and it has little chunks of the sausage. I'm glad it's not like whole discs, because that bothers me to no end. But it's baked into some delicious goodness, so I'm gonna try and get a
Smells
little bit.
spicy.
It is spicy. That's why I'm excited.
She likes spicy
I
food.
do like spicy things, so.
I get heartburn. I don't care for spicy, but I will try it. Is it good?
So much flavor. It does have a kick, but I don't think it's too spicy. Like, I think you'd be able to tolerate it, and it's still really hot. So that's probably why.
From the heat or from the from the cooking?
Like from the cooking, it's still really warm. So.
Oh, good.
It's good, right?
It is good, but it tastes like something I've had.
Have you had anything with Cajun spices?
I don't think so. No, it was something that we had somewhere. I don't remember where.
Well, if you remember, let me know.
I'll let you know.
But no, that's actually pretty good. Hooray! Everything we got is actually tasty. there's usually 1 or 2 things that are bad, so like this is a win.
It was just the lines were just
The
super
one,
long.
and they were super disorganized. I think that was the worst part.
It was like going 1 line. Wait, no, there's 2. No, there's 4 lines.
It was bad. It was really
And then
bad.
it was for the same stand, but then they send you for certain things in 1 line or 2, and then they send the other ones for the other 2 lines. Then after you pay for your item, you got to go get in 2 other lines.
Yeah, it's
The
rough.
were quick, but we stood in line for quite a while to pick up these things. So.
Yeah. But now that we got our food, and now that we've given you our thoughts, we're going to sit down and eat because we haven't had anything all day, and we'll get back to you shortly. So we've eaten our food, and we're sitting here for the parade, and we're just going to wait here because I'm afraid the spot will be taken. But over there is the tribute store. It's not in the same area like it was for the Halloween tribute store over at the end of New York Street. Instead, it's over here on Hollywood. So we'll go over there after the parade is over, because as you can see along the sidewalk, that's a massive line of people trying to get into the tribute store. So we'll wait until after the parade before we go in there. So yeah.
I love the character. I love where are my keys?
time. Ma, are you excited?
I am.
Yes. Are you going to catch all the beads?
I'm getting all the beads. I'm going to start knocking people around, taking their beads.
Oh, gee. I will do the best that I can. When I did this last year for the first time, I wasn't very successful at first, but then it was
we
coming.
were in a bad angle. We were over in that corner.
Well, I mean, when we were coming back, I was able to catch a lot, but I know a lot of them Citrine and Freya gave me just out of pity because I couldn't
Don't you
catch.
love it when your cousins and sister have pity for you?
I don't have the cousins here to help this time, so while I do intend on filming the entire parade, I do intend on catching needs, so the footage is going to get absolutely wild, and I want to apologize ahead of time. For all of my aerospace friends out there, earplugs and noise-canceling headsets, it gets super loud. The music is fun, but it's very, very loud, so earplugs it is. the time the parade was over, Mom and I both were basically at our last thread, and this following clip basically just summed up how we were feeling at that point. Yeah, it was rough, and so was trying to get footage in the tribute store, so voiceover time! This is the Legends of the Bayou Tribute Store, and it's designed to look like a little museum that displays all of Louisiana's creepy cryptids and monsters, as you can see by the various monster statues and the things inside the glass cases. They had this curtain set up that had a sign that said what's behind the curtain, and the people in front of me were doing the cutest photo shoot, and it made me very happy. Once I had a chance to peek behind the curtain, womp womp, there's actually nothing behind there, but the joke's on them. They had feet. So the first half of the store looks like a Legends of the Bayou museum, and they have a bunch of different displays like the Fiji mermaid and the saber-toothed skull, and they got this one cute little guy in the center of the room, and he's the Crunch Road monster. I just thought that was really cute. And they had tons of little alien guys set up throughout the entire store. I only got footage of a couple of them, and of course you have to wave hello. It's the most polite thing to do when there's a little alien dressed up for Mardi Gras. They had tons of creepy things. The things I got footage of was of the skeleton man. That brought me a lot of joy for no good reason. In this specific display case, they had a bunch of haunted dolls on display, which as a doll person, that bothers me. There's this nuisance guy, I don't know what he is, he's kind of weird looking. And then there's the Loup-Garou, which is essentially Louisiana's version of a werewolf. They have these fun viewfinders on the wall. I only got to look in 2 of them, and I saw this one. I'll call him Gator Man, because I'm not going to attempt to butcher the pronunciation of what he's actually called. And then of course I had to look at the Incredible Yeti, and if you look off to the very far left side of the display, there is a sticky note that says animate the Yeti and call Joe about parts. That's a reference to the broken Yeti animatronic at Animal Kingdom. Once you leave the actual museum part, you're transported into the bayou, and the set dressing itself is super cool and immersive. There's trees and there's moss and there's plants all over. It does feel like you're in the swamp, but there's also a bunch of store displays. The clips that I'm showing you here just shows how packed it was, and it was basically this crowded almost the entire time Mom and I were in there. There were a couple other monsters in there too, like there was this guy looking at us from the top of the shelf, and then there's this swamp monster. I don't know if he has a specific name or not, but look, he's got Mardi Gras beads. He's ready to party. Easily one of the coolest spots in the store is this little hut that's designed like a witch doctor or a voodoo doctor happens to live there, and there's a ton of different areas for photo ops. I got a photo in the chair because, I simply had to. And there's just a lot of fun little details and knickknacks and things set up in there. And then once you leave that room, then you're in the main room where the registers are and some more merchandise. It's a lot smaller than the location that was used for the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, but it's still just as immersive as the latter. So you're probably wondering, what about the merch? Well, I'm glad you asked. Mardi Gras has a ton of new pins this year, and they have keychains and lanyard pouches. In the very beginning of the store, they have a ton of Mardi Gras masquerade masks. They had simpler ones. They had some really pretty bedazzled ones. They had steampunk ones, those were really cool. And then they have these big grandiose ones. If you wanted fancy beads that don't get thrown during the parade, you can buy a whole bunch of beads on this one wall. As far as basic merchandise goes, they have sweatshirts and your t-shirts. They also had water bottle sleeves, and they had shot glasses and normal glasses. Again, all Mardi Gras themed, and they had their own little Mardi Gras designs on them. They had this wall of keychains that are voodoo dolls. They also had more t-shirts that have King Alligator on them. They had even more pins, including annual pass holder pins, and they had fun magnets with King Gator. We must respect King Gator. Of course, it wouldn't be a theme park event without a spirit jersey. They actually had these really nice black tumblers too for Mardi Gras as well. And of course, they had even more glasses. These ones have the skeleton guy on them, and they had a crop top for those who like to wear them. They had Mardi Gras lounge flies, and these ones were made with purple velvet, so they're super soft to the touch. They're great. And they have the skull of the skeleton man on the front. They've also got baseball caps, and they have little mini candles that cost the same price as a 3-wick candle from Yankee Candle. This is one of the shirts that my mom got. I really like the tie-dye purple design. They also had some fun hats and headbands. Of course, if you don't make it to the tribute store, or if you simply don't want to go to the tribute store for Mardi Gras merch, That's okay, because they've got Mardi Gras merch throughout all of Universal Studios and in Citywalk. This footage was taken in the gift shop right at the entrance of the park right before Mom and I left. So as you can see, they've got a lot of the popcorn buckets, a lot of the shirts, including this really nice flannel, and they have these super dope looking King Gator water bottles. They were fairly expensive, but they're still very cool. Oh boy, it's been 5 days. And it was a stressful night at Mardi Gras. Whoopee! Yay! I did initially record the closing to this video the night of Mardi Gras when Mom and I were in the car, but the footage was basically just her and I rambling over each other, and you can tell in the footage that I'm like this close to a meltdown because by that point the sensory overload was way too real, and Mom was done with the crowds too, and so we're both on edge and we just wanted to go home. Like literally as soon as we got home, I didn't even bother trying to start editing the video because it was late. I got home, I didn't want to say hi to anybody because I didn't want to deal with people. I got in the shower and I got into my PJs and I went to bed crying. So don't get me wrong, the event itself is a lot of fun. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we did Mardi Gras last year. We just went on a weekday instead of the weekend, and it wasn't the opening day either. It was right at the beginning of March, so we're like halfway through the event, and it was a lot of fun. The food that Mom and I did get was really good. The performers are super lively and they're having the time of their lives. All the floats for the parade were brand new and they were super creative. I think my favorite one was the food one that had the baby sitting in the donut. That one made me laugh quite a bit. And obviously the big alligator one. And the tribute store is super duper cool as well. It's tinier than the one that they use for Halloween Horror Nights, but I feel like Mardi Gras isn't on the same scale as Horror Nights, so to speak. So, but my goodness, you guys, those crowds, they were bad. They were really bad. Again, I think a big part of it was because there was also a concert that night for a guy who I underestimated the popularity of because he very clearly had a lot of fans. And also, yeah, because it was a Saturday. To put it into perspective, the amount of time it took for Mom and I to get the 3 food items that we ordered from basically the same area. They had the 2 New Orleans booths like right next door to each other, and they had this big line that divided into 2 lines, and then once you placed your order, you went to another big line that divided up into 2 other lines. That whole fiasco almost took us an hour, which is ridiculous. To put it in perspective, the line for Pop Beats at Festival of the Arts this year when we went during opening only took us like maybe 20 minutes to get through, and it was a long line, but it moved relatively quickly, even though it had to stop at some points because they actually had to cook the sandwiches and the soup. Not to mention just the line organization in general, it was really bad, and because of the placement of the lines, there was a ton of people that were basically just cutting through the lines trying to get to the other ends of the park, and the cherry on top was that 90% of them were just really rude and could care less about you and your personal space. Not even an excuse me or a pardon me or excuse me, just gonna sneak right past you could suffice. All right, they hip chucked you like they were football players. This isn't even factoring the amount of rude guests that we saw while waiting for the parade. Again, just more people cutting through, trying to get to other ends of the park and not even really saying excuse me, basically pushing and shoving their way like they're in a football game or they're playing hockey or something. In fact, my mom made the comment that she should have wore hockey gear to the park that day because she was getting pushed around so much. Not to mention the absurd amount of people that were trying to steal other people's spots that those people had staked out for like a couple hours and were sitting there the whole time with their groups, and these people are coming up and they're like, actually, we want you to move so we can sit there instead. It was a little rough. Then there was a lot of people that I think were a little too tipsy for the evening, you know. By far the most memorable rude guests that we wound up dealing with was the guy that wound up touching my mom, and I'll let her relay the story here.
We got pushed, shoved. I got grabbed and turned.
Yeah, no, I had saw him pass by Mom. I didn't see that he grabbed her by the waist like he was her husband or something.
And just basically just turned me around like that. Didn't say a word to me.
So by that point, she turned to me and she says, if one more person touches me, I'm gonna throw hands. She was super ticked off the rest of the night after that, and I don't blame her. It all happened so quickly, I didn't even fully process it until she told me as we were leaving the park. Again, the parade was great and the tribute store was fine, but like, my goodness gracious, the crowds were overwhelming. I feel like when it comes to crowds as big as this, I feel like most normal people, shall we say, handle it in what I assume is a normal way, in that it probably doesn't get to them too much and they just kind of deal with it, and it doesn't cause horrible anxiety and panic attacks. But then you have someone like me who's autistic and doesn't handle super big crowds very well. I'd like to think that it's gotten better but it really hasn't. I mean, these crowds that I saw for Mardi Gras on the 1st were some of the worst crowds I'd seen in a theme park in a very long time, which is saying something. I was mentally already starting to shut down when we were waiting to pick up the food after we ordered it, because that little courtyard space that's up by the Jimmy Fallon ride, that specific spot had so many people, okay, and they're just pushing their way through and they're cutting through and they're not asking, hey, can you move so I can get through so I can get to this other end of the park? No, they're just pushing their way through and no one's being nice, and there's people yelling and there's people spilling drinks on each other, and between the noise of that and the noise of the music and the noise of the performers at the other end of the road and the noise of the food and smelling the food and the booze and the different colognes and unfortunately body odor, it becomes overloading. Once we were able to move to the curb, I was able to calm down a little bit, but then as we got closer to the parade, it got way worse. Again, the parade was a nice distraction. Once we left the parade and we went into the tribute store, it started to get really bad again. So suffice to say, as much as we enjoyed the parade and the store, we were pretty miserable for a lot of it. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, gee, maybe you shouldn't have went on opening day then. And it's understandable if you think that. But for me, it's like, okay, I wanted to go on opening day because I know that's when everybody else goes on opening day and they can do these things on opening day. Why should it be any different for me? And I was able to do opening days for a couple of the festivals at Epcot and everything like that. And you know, I was okay then, and it should be fine, and I'll be okay, and it'll be a good time. And it wasn't a good time, and I learned the hard way that, you know, I can't handle certain things like a lot of the other people that make similar videos do. I was just really upset that night because it was like, this doesn't bother a lot of other people that are making similar videos, and it sucks that it bothers me so much because I find big crowds like that to be scary and they're overwhelming and it can just be too much for my brain to process. And what's even more upsetting, I just felt like, you know, it sucks because I should be having fun because everybody else is having fun, but now I feel terrible that I'm not having fun, and instead I'm so overwhelmed I'm not even capable of driving, so mom's having to drive. And trust me, I was very, very grateful to have her with me that night. And I also didn't get a chance to thank her for coming with in the original closing that I made. So I just want to very quickly say thank you to Mom for coming with me. And thank you for being there when I was having a really hard time. So we left the park and I filmed the original closing to this video in the parking garage. And it was after I had stopped recording and we were driving for a bit that I was finally able to like process everything and just kind of let out every emotion I was having to bottle up at that point. I cried on the way home, I cried in the shower, and then I cried as I went to bed because it was a lot. It basically took me that whole night and a good portion of the next morning to just kind of recuperate from everything. And I know that to a lot of you who probably don't deal with the same issues that I deal with, they're probably like, gee, this sounds like a bit much. Yeah, I know, it is a bit much, but you know, that's what it's like for me, and it can suck. I don't regret going, and again, Mardi Gras is a lot of fun, and if I had any advice to give, the biggest piece of advice is go on a weekday. It's not nearly as busy. The lines for the food aren't nearly as long, especially early on in the day. And you know, the parade runs every day, weather permitting. So if you go on a weekday, you're still gonna catch beads. You'll still see a lot of the fun performers. If anything, avoid opening weekend, please. Part of me is thinking, you know, if I have a day off somewhere between now and the 30th of March, I should probably go again. Maybe not do the parade again. I mean, maybe I will, who knows. But, you know, see some of the other entertainment options like the other performers that are out, get a better look of the tribute store when it's hopefully not as crowded, and maybe try some of the other food booths. But yeah, that was opening day of Mardi Gras at Universal Orlando. It was stressful. It wasn't very fun for a lot of it. But you know, the actual event offerings, they're really cool. The performers are a lot of fun. The parade is amazing to see in person. And it's a lot of fun catching beads, and I caught quite a bit of them considering I was filming, so you know, yay. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to me rant for a little bit. I just needed to speak my piece and feel fine afterwards. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was a good one. I mean, I know a lot of it jumps around in time and stuff, but I am really happy with the parade footage that I got, and I think the little voiceover bit that I did for the tribute store, I think turned out a lot nicer than I was thinking it was going to, so it always helps to look on the bright side. That's a nice thing to do. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the channel, and if you guys have any questions or if you just want to say anything at all, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I do always read them. I'll see you soon. Bye.